Imagine, let's understand something that I don't have to be standing in front of you for you to hear me. Let's understand that sound travels. Sound, yes, it travels. And I'm speaking to you, you future in the rush as wannabe criminals and gangsters and all this other shit you so intrigued, obviously, by. You are not you could not obviously pay attention to all the motherfuckers before you and the outcome of all of those motherfuckers you people brag about. You brag about those people that are dead now or in jail. You're so intrigued by those people who represented thievery, hate, mass murders, and things of that nature. You're intrigued by that bullshit. But yet, you are attracted to Malcolm X and all of our warriors of old. So it's like this. It's not gonna you won't never be able to do this with it. Never. But yet, you wanna project this bullshit. Excuse me, okay. So you wanna project this dude. You know, I can never understand the names that some of these people take from. And I'm like, why? 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 We listen to the warriors of old who knew the truth. You see, when Malcolm X, obviously, that third eye became woke. It took that third eye for him to see what that man needed to see in order to wake you motherfuckers up. You see, and all the warriors of old sacrificed themselves. They're twisting in their graves because of the bullshit you motherfuckers today are doing. But yet some even claim to be real. Well, everybody scream that I'm real shit. Now, let me ask you, what the fuck you mean by you're real? But first, before you answer that question, I am going to remove all weapons from the equation. Now, violence do not matter. That shit, to me, is not real any goddamn way. Now, all that is removed from the equation. Now, answer the motherfucking question. You answer that question now. Now, what makes you real? What makes you real? See, that question, because of that off the table, you stuck on stupid, trying to figure. Yeah. Answer that question now, nigga. That's what I'm talking about. And because of the violence, the self-violence, you niggas is nothing more than Black Klansmen. That's all. You study to get the bottom line. And you too would agree. Yes, sir, you too would agree that you're nothing more than Black Klansmen. The object, nigga, is the same. So, we do the whole shit we do, trying to impress each other. Some of these communities are so goddamn warped. The warpers is trying to impress the warped. Now tell me, do fuck that make sense? I could never understand that. I could never understand how a poor motherfucker is hating on a poor motherfucker. That is gonna never make sense. I mean, you dig it? Nobody wanna sit. And I said, imagine if all these warpers was to sit down together and put all their warped minds together and come up with a plan on how to make some money. Maybe that would work. Maybe. But first you gotta remove all that whole shit from the table. For some reason, black folks, we are, unfortunately, each other's worst enemy. That is so goddamn true. So motherfucking true, you heard? And I could never understand that. I'll be so real with you. Because of that bullshit, it pained me to stay the fuck away from black folks. Yes, it pained me. Because I was not gonna get involved with that whole shit. No, sir. No way, Jose. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. As an unguided soul, unguided, I was raised abused. I was introduced to drugs by my father. As a youngin', prior to going to DFY for a murder I didn't do. I did not do it. I had nothing to do with it. I knew nothing about it at all. It was a night, unfortunately, I ran away, left with no goddamn option. Now, that unfortunate night, you know, I'm deep. I don't know how I got there, got to this. But let me say something. As an unguided soul, I never, ever, not once felt love for my mother, for my father, you know. So, today, I don't know my fucking relatives. And when I inquire, motherfuckers act like I don't have a right to know my fucking relatives. I don't know what stories motherfuckers told. I know stories were told. I know this is an actual fact. Why? You know. And as a youngin', you know, we used to steal weed. Well, I used to steal weed. You know, we used to smoke with my father as a little boy. And we was going to public school. I would take some bags, the nickels and tray bags. Some of you niggas understand what I'm talking about. He used to sell them. And I used to go to school, hang out with motherfuckers that I thought were my friends. You know, young minds, that's what I say my so-called, because young folks, you ain't gonna never understand the importance of what a friend is till later on in your life. Later on, you may think, but no, you ain't gonna, you ain't gonna know. You will not know. Motherfuckers you're gonna decide to make some fucked up decision, right? And then you're gonna have your so-called friends down with you. And once the police get them in the rooms and start playing dice with their nuts, they gonna start singing them platinum hits, man. Shit, oh boy. You know, and on that day, I was sleeping on someone's step. It was summertime, like 1-ish, in the early part of the AM. And they woke me up. These creeps came to me. These Judases came to me, woke me the fuck up, and asked me, woke me up. Now, you're going to get some money. Now, you woke me up, nigga. Now, yeah, I'm thinking of food. Yeah. They asked me a question, and yeah. But as a young, there's no way in the world I was ever thinking no extreme shit. Now, let me take you there for a minute. Because if I happen to be in that vicinity, for some reason I stand by that tree, which is still there. And there was a vehicle. So these dirtbags. It seemed like I was the patsy. Like they came and invited me to some fucking hell to be a patsy, man. Literally. You know, they take me, we get from that point A, get to point B, there's a vehicle on that corner. Now, in the vehicle, in the driver's seat, there was an individual. As I'm getting closer, he appeared to be out. Now, on the dashboard, there was a big bottle of vodka. That's the biggest bottle I've ever seen then. Now, you know, the big one with the handle. Now, half of the bottle was gone. One of the Judases go into the passenger side and start banging this individual in the face with a brick. Now, I don't know how many times, but it seemed like everything started to become slow motion, and I started asking myself a question like, how I'm going to get money doing this? I'm trying to figure this dumb shit out. Like, you know, you just woke me up, and I'm trying to figure this fucking Twilight Zone shit out. It was, if you wasn't there, if you wasn't in these eyes, the way I'm describing it is the way it was. You better believe that. And I remember trying to figure out, how am I going to get money doing this? You know, with this shit. And while the Judas is probably hitting him, I don't know, 3 times, 4 times with a brick, because he was out through the alcohol. I surmised because of that alcohol, he comes out the vehicle. Now the other Judas, I believe, had either a car jack, the shit that holds the car up, the big shit, either that or a big tree stump, because I believe they had both of them objects in trial. So I remember the man saying, please don't hurt me. And I'm, as a 12, I'm looking at it, and I'm looking, and I'm trying to figure, why would you wake me up for this? So I remember the man on his vehicle, both of them get into that vehicle. It appeared he was braced on the vehicle. And one of them was in the driver's seat. And his arm is out, and he's pulling off slowly, and he told me to get in the car, and I remember saying, nah, some shit to that effect, nah, but it was like slow motion, and I thought I seen myself probably doing some shit like this, like, no, nah, some shit like this. So anyway, he pulls up, or they pull out, and I remember looking, then I remember going to the corner, because it was there was a park right there. So the park was the front, this block, the corner. So I go back into the park, and I come back to where the situation was, and I remember looking down, but now I recall seeing an ambulance, a police car, the lights, because it was early morning. It was dark, so their vehicle was like the light shining on the individual. And I recall seeing this individual on his back with his mouth open, and I could have swore that his mouth was filled with blood. I could have swore that he was on his back, and I could have seen, I thought it was blood, you know, filled up in his mouth. So I remember leaving. Now, by the time I get back home, because it wasn't far away from that area, but when I get there, there's detectives at the door. There's a 4-door white vehicle. So as I'm coming around the corner, I see it. So I go across the street into another private house, because we had the first and the second floor. So I'm in another private house looking out at that hallway. And when they came out and pulled off, I'm trying to understand, why would they be there? Why would they be right here? Why? I did nothing. Zero. fucking row. Period. And it's no way, mathematically, man, you got to understand, no way. There was no fucking way. There was just no, understand this. The incident occurred. And maybe I did say it was slow motion, so maybe time would move different. And I thought it was that way. But there was just not a way. No police should have ever been there. Ever. It's what the fuck I am saying. Period. So when they leave, I go, and I remember my mom's and them coming down the second floor, my father coming out the first floor. And he said, boy, they want you for murder. And I said, I did nothing. You know, because this nigga was abusive, me saying nothing, I might as well say, yeah, I did it, nigga. I might as well say, yeah, I did it. When you gotta understand, I'm a little 12-year-old, maybe 80, 90 pounds. Little punk kid, man. Little fucking punk kid, man. And it seemed, true story, when he said this, when he said, boy, they want you for murder, it looked like saying that made him proud. That sounds stupid, but, you know. But anyway, I would have rather been in jail in Spofford than free in the street, which you consider home. I felt better off in jail than I would in the street. That sounds crazy, I know it. But if you was going through that type of hell, then hey, then you would probably understand. You know, so anyway, I'm charged with murder. It was in the Daily News. When I got sentenced, they said I was the youth getting a slap on the wrist. Because I was a young kid when I was that age, there was not a law at the time where they was charging you little boys like me as adults. They was trying to formulate something at the time, and but because it wasn't in effect, once I got into Spofford, once the law, I was there before the law was enacted. Now, had I went there before, yeah, they could have played Smack Daddy with your boy. Yeah, yep. You know, so anyway, motherfuckers was telling me, when they found me guilty, because I was too young, I couldn't get sentenced in Supreme Court, so they sent me to family court. So, I don't know how I laid up in Spofford, because I've been there. I believe I've been in Spofford like 2 years. I was working, I used to give the cookies out through the whole building, give the cigarettes out. They used to be able to smoke the cools, and they give you the cookies at night. Yeah. You know, so, motherfuckers was telling me, yo, don't worry about it. Oh, this is what you're talking about. You're talking about misinformation, because it was foreign environment, because that was the first time I've ever been locked up. You know, I went through that bullshit, you know, and the misinformation was, don't worry about it, man. You can only get 18 months. The motherfucker said. Now I get in front of the judge, you know, with an understanding, like I knew for a fact, that's all you can give me. I kind of figured that. I thought that, well, that was a lie. Whoa, that was a goddamn lie. The judge said, I'm gonna sentence you to the max. And I thought she was going to say 18 months. But she said, yo, I'm going to sentence you to 5 years. And I said, what? I said, what? No. What? No. What the fuck happened to the 18 months? Where the 18 months at, motherfucker? I think I've been trying to turn the tape over, ended flat on my ass, and just sitting there crying, trying to figure, where the 18 months at, man? Goddamn. Where's the 18 months at? And I can tell you a story about people being there, but I will not. Those are just, when you look back, you like, and someone was there with some type of instructions that I never received. I never received it. And I believe, had I received it, well, I probably didn't want to receive it anyway. Nobody ever asked me about that. Nobody. Nobody even asked me. Like today. I'm telling you about that. That information would be on my rap sheet. The streets you couldn't get this information. I'm giving that. You couldn't get that. Because it was sealed. It's a sealed case. But I get it, you can see, yeah. That was the first time I've ever been in jail. You know. But it was because of the hell. Now, had the family been loving, there would have never been no reason to get away from that type of hell. But that was just, you know, wishful thinking. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth, huh? You know, motherfucker be like, yo, you know, forget about that, man. I mean, keep it moving, man. Shit. You know, to me, I wish it was really that easy, simple, for me to just be able to, you know what? That's like a piece of puzzle. That's like trying to put that's like putting a puzzle together that's missing pieces. You know, you would be able to put it, but there's just so chunks of that piece missing that putting it together would just be a waste of time. It would, you know, because I could never understand it, you know. Everybody want to judge, but nobody ever asks a simple question. Nobody ever asks a question to be able to do some type of judging if that's what turned you on. Shit. How can you judge a motherfucker you never talked to? That don't make no sense. Actually, that never made no goddamn sense. True. I could never understand that, man. You know. You know, I see a psychiatrist today, you know, because I have a problem with trust. Hey, man, because if you couldn't trust your parent, really, who the fuck can you trust? Think about that, man. You think about that shit, man. You think about it. Hey man, regardless of how much loyal I was, I always expected it to be reciprocated, always. I could never understand why it was so hard for motherfuckers to reciprocate some straight up shit. Why is that so hard? You can't buy that. It's not with a price. Why is that so hard for a motherfucker to say thank you, man? Hey, man, I appreciate that, man. You know, you got these lames thinking no, we're not obligated. I've never been in the gang, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Because I always felt that I am the strength. I've always felt I was the strength. I don't need 1,000 motherfuckers to validate me. I never did need that. I didn't need it. I had offers from different organizations. I was there when it first started, when I was already locked up. When I was in HDM, Rikers Island, 94. I remember this, man, because it was so rare. When I tell this story about me telling my man Monstro that, yo, maybe this is what our peoples need. Because I thought it was some type of righteous movement. I really did. That's why I said maybe this is what our peoples need. Maybe this is what we've been waiting for, man. I didn't know it would be on some self-destruction shit, man. These organizations, man, could have went so positive, so built the communities up, man. You know, been making billions and maybe millions and multi-million dollars. Just doing the right thing. That wasn't hard. See, doing the wrong thing is so easy. That's sad. That's so goddamn sad. You know what I'm saying? That's so sad. And you be like, yo, man. Guess who's back? Never. I had an addict tell me, an active individual getting high. He said, man, hey man, yeah, I understand you keep it real with motherfuckers, but just because you keep it real with motherfuckers doesn't mean they gotta keep it real with you. And I was like, what? Then I sat on it. Then I sat on what the fuck he was saying, and I kept like, oh shit. I kept saying, oh shit. Because I used to always get upset at it, like, how the fuck do you? And when he said that, I was like, oh shit. And he was right. He was fucking right. Yep, he was right. That wasn't an obligation. He is right. It just meant that that's who they were or are. So being real, forget about that. Regardless of what comes out their mouth. You know, actual fact is they will always be who the fuck they is. You dig it? Hey man, I wish there was some motherfucker I could really fuck around with, really sit with. Nobody's judgmental, everybody straight up deal with you the same way. That's for each other. Then we be cooking. Then we be cooking with grease. Real talk. You dig it? Do you dig it, baby? We got. Holla at your motherfucking boy. Nigga running around here like he's a professional wrestler or something, you know? Hey man, this nigga running around here talking that we are the world, yeah. Nigga, please. Let me tell you something, man. Imagine that. I always say this. I always say this, y'all. I always say, you know, I always say, just imagine the world was a peaceful place. Just imagine that. Imagine everyone's on some stand-up shit. Just imagine that. I mean, what's wrong with respect? I mean, really, what's wrong with that? Well, it ain't my fault. Did I do that? It ain't my fault. Did I do that? Suck my dick, man. God damn it, man. This fucking... Okay. I said it ain't my fault. I said it ain't my fault. Oh, it ain't my fault. Did I do that? It ain't my fault. If the world had peace, just imagine that. Just imagine, I mean, think about this. Just imagine all of you liars who talk that you believe in God shit. Just imagine that. See, whatever happened to what would Jesus do? You're supposed to be so righteous, so God-fearing, loving of God's creation. But you got hate in your heart. You lie, you mislead. So, I mean, what kind of sense would that make, yo? Think about that. Think about it, man. Shit. Nah, that motherfucker. It's over there, why out there, you know what I'm saying? Where we going? Yeah, no hating in the building, nigga. I said it ain't my fault. Oh shit. Did I do that? Listen, I said, did I do that? I said, did I do that? Nigga. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, I see what happened. Because I have fucking, man, you know what? I supposed to have gotten a mirror. A fucking, damn you, motherfucker. The bright mirror. Yes, that's what. Damn it. That's what the fuck it was. Son of a bitch. Simple. Hey, so anyway, I think it's about restructuring our young